PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to PACTV Community News. We have a full show this week with stories from Duxbury, Kingston, Pembroke, and Plymouth. We bring you an update from the True Rep Theater in Pembroke and learn about Shakespeare in the Park from Plymouth Bay Cultural District.
PCN stops into the Duxbury Senior Center to hear about their Kindness Rocks project. And we meet the folks behind the Natural Body Works Healing Center in Kingston.
We head to Pembroke's Town Green where they held a special bench dedication ceremony, and we come back to Plymouth to profile the Quintal Brothers wholesalers.
Town Talk brings Pembroke's town administrator to the set for an update, but we begin on Pembroke's Town Green. If you've ever seen one of the concerts on the green in Pembroke during the summer, you should know that it may never have happened without the hard work of Carol Norse. She started the entertainment on the green back in 1982, before there was even a gazebo with a stage for bands and other entertainers to showcase their talents. Carol Norse passed away last year, but the summertime entertainment carries on to this day. To honor her hard work and devotion to the town of Pembroke, the town dedicated a bench in her name right there on the green. We spoke with family members just ahead of the ceremony.
Today we're here to dedicate a bench in my mom's memory. 35 years ago she started entertainment on the green here in Pembroke, and the family wanted to think of a great way to memorialize and let everybody know what she did, because she was so humble that a lot of people really don't realize that she started this in 1982.
The green wasn't being used for much of anything back in the 80s. They had an arts festival in August, and that was about it. So she started concerts. The bandstand wasn't built there. We used a platform for years, and then the town decided to put a bandstand up, and it got very popular during the 80s and 90s. And here we are at 2017, it's still going on.
Having this named after my mom really means a lot. I've really felt up in my throat all day today like I was going to start crying again, because we wanted something named after her in town. We decided to use this, and that's really awesome.
I remember being 10 years old, and it was the first concert, and I got to hand out the little pamphlets that said who was playing, and I thought that was an awesome job to have at 10. So it runs throughout the summer, and it's free concerts for the residents of Pembroke and any other people that want to come from neighboring towns. And it's just a great way for families to get together and spend some time together, and it doesn't cost anything.
Well, I'm feeling sad right now, but I'm glad it's over, and we got it done.
I've always wanted to do something like this for her, and she was very humble and probably wouldn't want any of this fanfare, but she deserves it. She worked hard. She put a lot of volunteer times into making this entertainment on the green come to life, and 35 years later it's still happening. So pretty proud of her, and I want other people to know what she did.
As a Pembroke resident, I'm really quite moved by that. I didn't know about Carol Norse, and it was so cool to see her family tell us the story, and I'm so glad she had a bench dedicated to her. And the Sunday night concerts on the green are just wonderful. Great place for families to get together.
Yeah, it's a real old school feel to it. I love it. It reminded me of, you know, when I was a kid, even on the 4th of July, everybody gets together, and they bring their chairs. This is every Sunday night.
Yep, every Sunday night.
Oh, that's awesome. It's not just new businesses that make our community a great place to live, it's also the tenured seasoned businesses that have been here for years. We stopped into Natural Body Works in Kingston to meet Diane Jordan Godwin. She's been in business for 20 years in the same location as a healer. What does a healer do, and why do they do it? Well, Diane gave the rundown and explains why she loves the work she does every day.
So I'm a healer. I'm a hypnotist, a reflexologist, and a massage therapist. I decided to go into this line of work very young, kind of in a funny way. When I was 10, I remember very distinctly being in my parents' room watching a movie. And the movie was with Joanne Woodward. And she had gotten into an accident. I can't remember what kind of accident, but she died. Like, really had like a death experience. Died and came back. And when she came back, she was able to heal people by laying on her hands. And I was just amazed by it. And that was when I decided that that's what I wanted to do with my life. Well, I'm a nationally certified hypnotist. Hypnosis is not like you see on stage or in the movies. There's nothing weird or creepy about it. Hypnosis is just accessing the power of the individual's subconscious mind to create the changes that they want to see in their life. So also, I'm a reflexologist. Reflexology is very relaxing, comforting type of treatment that combines body work and energy work. So it addresses the whole body inside and out from the reflex points on the surface of the feet. And I'm a massage therapist. And, well, everybody kind of knows what therapeutic massage is. So the way that I explain it to people is like this. We human beings are a combination system. So we have a physical body and an energy body. Everybody, knows what the physical body is. And the energy body consists of our thoughts, our feelings, and our soul. So true healing comes from addressing all aspects of the person: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. I am so blessed to be able to do what I do. It's really pretty amazing to work with someone who's being challenged in frequently so many ways, and just see how they blossom. It's an amazing feeling. I just love my job.
The Duxbury Senior Center held a Kindness Rocks pop-up shop at Aropa in Duxbury to spread kindness in the community. To find out what this is all about, we stopped in.
So we are here. The Duxbury Senior Center has embraced the Kindness Rocks project, and we are hosting 22 pop-up rock shops all over Duxbury this summer. We launched our Kindness Rocks program on June 6th. We had the founder, Megan Murphy, from the Cape come and join us and introduce her program to our seniors. The Kindness Rocks project started in the fall of 2015. It's now in all 50 states, Washington, D.C., and 7 countries. There's over 19,000 Kindness Rocks documented in the world, and we are taking the Kindness Rocks project to another level, taking it out on the road throughout the whole town of Duxbury intergenerationally all summer long. The Kindness Rocks project is not about the rock. It's about the art of connection. It's about inspiring a person, uplifting a person, and spreading kindness in the community and eventually in the world, having the ripple effect. And you get to take a rock, and we've painted them and sealed them, and we got oil-based Sharpies donated by W.B. Mason, and we bring them out in the community for people to decorate and leave a message, a quote, a one word of inspiration, and you can either leave the rock, take the rock, or pass it on to someone who needs one. So it's about spreading kindness, and it's the art of connection. The Duxbury Senior Center decided to get involved because it is the perfect venue for the community. And we want to be interconnected within the community. We want our seniors to be with children, and children to be with seniors, and families to be with seniors, and seniors to be with families and business owners. We've partnered with the Duxbury Business Association on the Kindness Rocks project, and we're hosting 22 rock shops at different businesses all summer long. Blakeman's out at the beach is hosting our Kindness Rocks garden for the senior center. So all summer long, when people go to Blakeman's for either a lobster roll or an ice cream, the senior center Kindness Rocks garden will be there. And that's part of the connection, the art of connection. We want people to know about us, to know who we are, and to feel connected to the Duxbury Senior Center.
We are so thrilled to be out in the community doing this Kindness Rocks project. We're going to be hosting 22 rock projects all summer long, and really it is to promote kindness. The Kindness Rocks project really is supposed to be a project where you make a rock, share a rock, leave a rock, and it's all about promoting kindness in the world. Someone may be having a tough day or a great day and see a rock that really speaks to them, and we hope that someone will pick it up and it will make their day better, or they may stop and come to a rock shop and make a rock that they can share with someone else. Really, our goal is to promote kindness in Duxbury and in the world.
It's not summer without some Shakespeare in the park. On August 20th, Brown Box Theater Project will be hosting a Shakespeare acting workshop at Plymouth Center for the Arts, and afterwards performing one of Shakespeare's most famous tragedies, Hamlet, at Pilgrim Memorial State Park Amphitheater. The workshop and performance, sponsored by the Plymouth Bay Cultural District, is free to the public and is sure to be an incredible evening. PCN stopped by to chat with the director of Hamlet to get you this scoop.
The event that we're having as part of the Plymouth Bay Cultural District is Shakespeare in the Park. And what we really wanted to do was to bring some more culture and arts. Obviously, Plymouth is very well known for that, but we're trying to expand it, and that's really the goal and mission of the Plymouth Bay Cultural District. The event that we have scheduled for August 20th at 7:30 p.m. is going to be Shakespeare in the Park by Hamlet, and it's done through the Brown Box Theater Group. And prior to that, we'll be here at the Plymouth Center for the Arts at 4:30 for an actors workshop, which should be very exciting. We're looking to get reservations for people who are 16 of age and over to come to that workshop. And then from after the workshop, we'll be walking down the hill over to Pilgrim Park and be ready to put on the play.
Brown Box Theater Project has been around doing free Shakespeare for 7 years, taking theater to communities that we are trying to break down the financial or geographic barriers that separate those audiences from performing arts. And so this production is our 7th version of bringing free Shakespeare to communities in and around Greater Boston, and right here in Plymouth, our 2nd year here. And we are excited to be bringing Shakespeare's most well-known tragedy to the area with a really exciting, wonderful young cast that will bring these great, well-known words to life. The parts of Hamlet that get me the most excited is really exploring how the psychological elements of this tragedy. It is not a tragedy necessarily of action, but a tragedy of the mind. And whether it's Hamlet himself or even the characters surrounding him, we are exploring these elements of mourning ritual and death, and how death does affect the mind, and then how, when we find out that it is murder of his father that he is coping with and that he has to take action from, those are the twists and the elements, the tragedy of the mind, that I'm excited to be exploring.
There have been other Shakespeare's in the Park, other plays that have been down here in Plymouth, but they seem to have been something that, kind of sporadic. And what we wanted to do, especially with Brown Box, was to be able to start an event that would be something that we would bring back every year, build upon it, and maybe even do more than one throughout a calendar year. I think it's something that in the past has had great attendance, and I know working with Kyler and his group at Brown Box, we're really expecting to have another great event. And again, it's something that we want to continue to do on an annual event.
True Rep Theater hosted an informative meeting recently for actors interested in joining the company as they plan auditions for the next 2 years. Actors from all over the South Shore were invited to attend this question and answer session with the company's founder and artistic director, Donald Sheehan, and we sat in too.
True Rep had put, an event invite out there to many different actors. A lot of networking has gone into this, and there are many different actors that work with a lot of different types of theater companies throughout the South Shore and Boston that will be coming in this evening. And it's essentially an informational meeting to let them know what it is that we're trying to do with the repertory theater, the structure of a repertory theater, what some of the expectations are, what some of the potential benefits to being involved in a repertory theater would be. Some people use the word repertory and some people also use the word resident. More often, repertory means that a company is working or producing shows in rep, meaning that they're presenting more than one show at a time. But that can also be applied to the actual company of actors that you have. But sometimes the term that's used is resident. So essentially what that means is that if you look at a lot of regional theaters across the country, from an audience perspective, you're seeing the same actors that are being used in varying roles from show to show. So it's the type of thing where an actor can come in and find one theater company to call their home. The community center is where we're currently working. There are potential plans to revamp it, tear it down and completely rebuild it. So I've been asked to be on a board of people that will be working to make those different types of decisions. For now, the community theater will be our home, and we're not quite sure about the future. It depends on what the town government decides to do. There is potential for us in terms of building our own space right in this area because it's so accessible. It can be a very specific type of commitment. So I think the one main thing that will be on people's minds is whether or not, you know, based on their personal life, based on their current work situations and other things that they have going on, is this the type of commitment that they're looking to make.
I love his tenacity, but boy, it sounds like he's got a tall order.
Yeah, he does.
To get this thing together.
Yep. And yet, if anybody can do it, Donald can. It's tough to get a group of people to commit to being in a theatrical company. The beauty of it is that you get to have a stock in the types of productions that are picked, and the community gets to know the same faces and see them in different showcases, which is wonderful. If anyone can do it, Donald can, and we're with you. Good luck.
And everybody there seemed like they were really into it, too.
Yes.
So that's good. The Quintal name has been known here on the South Shore since the late 1950s when they first started the Quintal Brothers wholesale fruit and produce. 3 generations later, and the name is still going strong with their year-round weekend farmers market that they host at their warehouse on Scobie Circle. When rain comes down like this, it's usually bad for business if you're running a spring and summertime farmers market. Luckily, that's not the case for the Quintal Brothers wholesale fruit and produce in North Plymouth. While it's not an actual farmer's market by the true definition, this multi-generational operation has reinvented itself in recent years by opening its doors only on the weekends and special holidays to create a farmer's market type atmosphere. In February of 2014, they moved from their South Spooner Street location to the warehouse here on Scobie Circle. So now even on a rainy Saturday like this one, folks can still come in and have that farmer's market experience and stay dry in the process. Prior to being used as the weekend shopping spot that it is now, it served exclusively as a wholesale warehouse for the Quintal Brothers. After some pressure and cajoling from friends and relatives, they took a chance and opened it to the public.
People would be coming knocking at the door every day. And my friends and my daughter talked me into, you should try it just for the weekend. So I said, I'll try it, but I'm not going to get all heavily involved in it because, But we had the space here. So we made some changes, and it's been very, very, very successful.
The Quintal name has been a staple in the town of Plymouth since they first went into the wholesale fruit and produce business back in 1958. Tris Quintal is the face of the weekend operations and represents the 3rd generation running things here for the family.
My father brought me back in, and we needed someone to kind of take over. He knows I've been with the business for 7 years, so I kind of knew the ins and outs, and he likes what I do, and I know how to run stuff. I make sure it gets done the same way every week, so it's consistent. And I love it, I'm a Quintal, so I take honor in it.
This place resonates with me personally because it reminds me of a food co-op my mom would take us to when I was a kid. For those who may be unfamiliar with the setup, imagine a giant farm stand under one roof that's open every weekend year-round in spite of the weather. It doesn't have the frills and fanciness of a supermarket, but that's not why people shop here anyway. People come here because of its strong reputation, one that's been built up for parts of 7 decades.
They're supporting family business. I mean, this business has been around since 1958, and hopefully it goes on to the 4th generation.
In North Plymouth, I'm Brian Sullivan, PACTV Community News.
Town Talk today brings Pembroke's Town Administrator Ed Thorne back to our set. Welcome back, Ed.
Julie, it's always a pleasure to be here.
And it's almost the end of July. We're halfway through the summer, and we're into a new fiscal year for Pembroke. So tell me about, with the new fiscal year come new projects that were voted on and approved at town meeting.
Right.
So what are some of the new projects?
Yeah, and the ones that you'll see most visible in town will be those funded by the Community Preservation Act.
Yeah.
They were voted on by the annual town meeting in May. And so, you know, they range from recreational projects at Matakeesia Street ball fields, where we're putting new dugout roofs on to make it safer for the players. I know that the Recreation Commission got some funds to redo the parking area and to put new guardrails up and all that. So, you know, we're constantly dressing up that area. Although, and I will say that we have received compliments from folks from out of town about how well
people love the Matakeesit ball field area, and we have the lighting.
Actually, I had a comment from a fellow town manager about that, and
it's
how well the job that they did. So we're really proud of what the Recreation Commission and youth baseball is doing out there. So, and then we have a couple of projects in the center of town that will go towards fixing up some of the buildings. We have Council on Aging received a bunch of money to redo their roofs and the painting and what have you, and the same holds true for the VFW Boys Club building, which is on the other side of the library. And we're working on projects that were funded by last year's town meeting. We're hopefully breaking it out so that we can get a better cross-section of bidders for that particular project.
So we're sprucing up the center.
Yeah, we're trying to. You know, we're still working on the community center, but that's a story for another day.
Yes, well, we will spend another day on the community center.
And then, of course, normally what we do in the summertime is we have beach projects.
Yep.
This year we'll be concentrating on Little Sandy Beach and redoing the fencing and moving some stuff around down there, in addition to the annual pond treatments to prevent the algae blooms.
And that goes on all the time, right? Especially in the summer, you have to test it constantly.
Test it constantly, but we basically treat it almost on an annual basis.
Yeah.
Especially the Oldham and Furnace Pond areas.
Yes. And we have a lot of people that visit those beaches.
Oh, big time. Yeah. We have, you know, almost 100 kids that are in the swim program again this year. So
which is wonderful.
We want to make sure that the water's safe for our folks there. So. And then we have a couple other projects that will benefit the Housing Authority and the Public Works Department in the cemeteries or whatever.
What about Letham's Ford?
That's going to be a big project.
And what is that?
Actually, we received some money from the Community Preservation Program to install new benching and new picnic tables there. You know, we're working with you know, the North River Commission and the Conservation Commission to address the water area, to ensure that we try to remove some of the invasive species that are that are along the water and replace it with
species.
You know, with some greenery that is native to the area.
Right,
so,
right.
So you know, we're
It's a
working on that.
Space.
Yeah, and we're doing our part to kind of dress that up. So
very good. And the Route 14 project, which is we're putting in sidewalks all along Route 14 from Hanson all the way to the center. This is phase 1.
Yeah, they're actually PA Landers and the state had decided to break the project that extends from Route 53 all the way through the center of town and back out to the Hanson line. They decided this summer to concentrate on the western side of the project from the center of town out to the Hanson line. So that's, you know, they're really being very intensive about that, about putting the sidewalks in, the drainage in, and then, of course, widening the road itself.
And that should be done sometime September, October at the latest.
They're looking at having it completed by the end of the construction season this summer.
That's great. Our last minute and a half, let's talk about the town hall and what you're doing at the town hall, because I hear it's a much more user-friendly place, or it's going to be.
Well,
getting there.
You know, at the annual town meeting, Article 11 created a municipal inspections department.
Right.
And we combined the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Conservation Commission, the Board of Health, and the Building Department, all under one umbrella, headed up by yours truly.
Of course.
And what we've done is we're going to consolidate all of the administrative folks into one big office.
Right.
And actually, You know, we've been knocking out walls
Yeah.
and putting in windows, you know, for the public to.
So when you walk in, instead of having to go upstairs to this and over there to that, it's going to be a much more user-friendly, consolidated group of information and knowledge and who helps who and
yeah,
closer.
and those folks will be cross-trained, and,
Yeah, which
and
is
we're having all of the clerical, administrative staff will be all in one office, and we're looking forward to that. You know, we're working on that right now, and we're going to be moving the planning board upstairs, and we're moving the Board of Health downstairs.
Perfect.
And
Yep.
and we're really looking forward to having that finished product for the public's. Well, not really enjoyment, more
But it is,
like
though. It is. It makes it so much more efficient and so much more fun to go into the town hall and be able to talk to someone who, if they don't know, the person right over there knows, and they can get the answer for you.
And we have a lot of one-person offices,
Right, of
and so
course.
this way we don't have to worry about closing
If
a
somebody's
particular
out,
office.
sure.
That's correct.
That's great. Wonderful. Onward and upward, Pembroke.
And we're getting there.
All right. We'll have you back soon, after the summer.
Gotcha.
Okay. Thank you for checking out tonight's show, filled with local stories from the South Shore. You can find PCN on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on YouTube. You can also watch each story again on PACTV's Prime channel, found on our website. See you next week for more local stories.